Welcome back. We're talking about the Pirates, who were winners today, and they split a 4-game series after a 14-1 thrashing in Game 1. They won 2 of the next 3. So they're on pace to get to 73 wins, and that would be an improvement. But the question now is, after they, again, were sellers, Jeff, are they going to be sellers again next year? And if so, how disappointed will you be? It's time to start winning, isn't it?
Odds would tell you that they would be sellers, but I don't think so. I think at this time next year they're going to at least be somewhere in the frame where they're not going to be selling.
What gives you hope? What makes you believe that connection?
That some of these young guys are starting to perform a little bit, and you add a Skeens, and this should be hopefully a better team.
I like to think that they're sellers, but I don't know that if you go back even a couple months. Now, I'm not talking about their on-field performance. I'm talking more of these prospects like Nick Gonzalez, Quinn Priester. Some of these guys that were really high hopes for, and I know it's a short, small sample size. But I don't know, even to a point, Henry Davis, and with the non-catching thing, I think you feel a lot worse about their future than you did a couple months ago.
I mean, Jason DeLay's in there last night, Bob. You don't play Rodriguez. You start Jason DeLay, and you have Davis in right field. It's a perfect spot to give that guy
Why
an opportunity
can't you do
to catch.
it now? If you're ever going to do it, this is the time to do it.
And Cherington keeps talking every time he gets an opportunity about how they like Davis as a catcher. Their actions don't reflect that whatsoever.
Well, then he defers to Shelton, that he leaves those decisions to Shelton.
Look, I think that, speaking of Cherington, he talked after the deadline with more urgency than I've ever heard him.
3 times.
We got to win fast. We got to win quickly.
Yep.
So they're going to have to get help from the outside. I mean, I'm going to think back to those comments this offseason. That makes me think that Nutting is going to open up, maybe not to, he's not going to be Steve Cohen, Bob, but, I think they're going to spend maybe 30, 40
I don't know what they have in Mitch Keller right now. I mean, I don't even know.
Mitch Keller, too.
Can you name one starting pitcher that you for sure feel good about?
Yeah, Paul Skeens. I think he should start next year. In the opening day, he should be your opening.
And they need to buy a first baseman. And not
they need to spend money, there's no question.
And not just bring back Carlos Santana like it's high school homecoming.
No.
Right, and
Jeff,
they can afford it.
I want to ask you also about, they decided to keep Bednar and Keller. Mistake? Specifically with Keller.
No. I think you want to build around somebody. He's the closest thing you have to a consistent major league starter that at times can peak and be an all-star.
I mean, I don't know about consistent, but he's definitely the closest thing to a potential number 2, number 1 starter.
He had a great first half. Now he's Neil Heaton.
He had
Jeff Locke.
One good calendar year, one good 12-month span in his whole career so
I think
far.
that.
But I realize I'm hoping.
I think Mitch Keller's going to get the pitching coach fired. I think he's going to get Oscar Marin fired because, to Chris's point, where are their success stories in their pitching staff this year? There aren't any.
Oviedo
Ortiz is gone. Well, I know, but he still has an ERA in the 4.
Contreras is struggling. Yeah, Ortiz. Oh, yeah, you're right. They all.
I mean, it seems like there's been a lot of.
But is it always a pitching coach and a hitting coach?
No, but Bob, those guys should be better. Like Contreras should not have fallen apart to a 6+ ERA, and he's out of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
We get it with the Pirates. You don't get dealt a full hand of cards. Okay, you're playing at a disadvantage, but come on, these young guys have not developed the way that we thought they would.
We'll be talking about this, I'm sure, in weeks to come again, and that's what happens with the Pirates. Meantime, I want to say about Ford fanatics. You're out there, and you know there's no place like number 1 Cochran. Along with locations in Allegheny Valley, Butler County, the new number 1 Cochran Ford Monroeville has joined this roster. All 3 number 1 Cochran Ford stores are celebrating with grand opening offers. You will get 3 times the pricing power, 3 times the selection, 3 times the thrills. All you have to do is visit number 1 Cochran Ford in Allegheny Valley, Butler County, now Monroeville, or go online, Cochran.com.